Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Dewi Kartika with student ID 194010031. Here I will explain the mind map about Chapter 5, Short Workplace Message and Digital Media. Short Workplace Message and Digital Media divided into 5 parts. The first part is communicating in the digital age with email and memo. First, email becoming strong at 50. Email at work is unlikely to go away. Roughly 50 years after the first email was sent, total email traffic continues to grow 4% per year worldwide. Office workers receive an average of 120 messages a day. Globally, 125 billion business emails are exchanged every day. Despite all kinds of chat, SMS, and mobile messaging, most business messages are still sent via email. Second, common complaints about email. Although email is recognized as a mainstay of business communication, it is not always done well. Complaints about confusing and poorly written emails. Many people are overwhelmed with too many messages. In addition, other email senders still fail to recognize how dangerous email is. Once deleted, email files still leave traces on servers inside and outside the organization. Long forgotten messages can emerge in court cases as damaging and costly evidence. Despite its dark side, email has many advantages and remains the primary channel of communication. Therefore, it is important to learn when and how to use it efficiently and safely. Third, knowing when email is right. Short informal messages are mostly sent via text, instant message, or chat. In comparison, email lends itself to longer, more engaged, and well-organized messages that can provide or request information and respond to questions. This is especially effective for messages to multiple recipients and messages that need to be archived. Email is also suitable as a cover document when sending longer attachments. The fourth, writing professional emails. Professional emails are very different from messages you send to friends. Instead of the usual hastily thrown away, a professional email is a well-considered message that involves all 3 stages of the writing process. They have interesting subject lines, appropriate greetings, well-organized bodies, and comprehensive closing information. Fifth, keeping your inbox in check. Instead of letting your inbox consume your time and hamper your productivity, you can control it by observing some time management strategies. The most important strategy is to check your email at a set time, like first thing in the morning and again after lunch or at 4 p.m. To avoid distraction, be sure to turn off your audio and visual alerts. 6. Reply efficiently with bottom editing. When answering email, a useful skill to develop is bottom editing. This involves inserting your response into part of the incoming message. After a polite opening, your reply message will only include the part of the incoming message you responded to. Remove the sender's message header, signature, and all unnecessary part. Your response can be indicated by your initial if more than one person will see the response. Another efficient technique is to use a different font color for your down edits. It takes a little practice to develop these skills, especially email formatting, but edited replies reduce confusion, save writing and reading time, and make you look professional. And the last is writing inter-office memos. In addition to email, you should be familiar with another type of workplace document, inter-office memorandums. Although email has largely replaced memos, you may still be asked to use the memo format in certain cases. Memos are required for important internal messages that are too long to email, require permanent records, demand formality, or inform employees who may not have a work email, such as those in manufacturing or construction. In organization, memos constantly produce change, official instruction, and reports comparing memo and email, similarity, and the difference. Second part is message and SMS at work. First, benefits of instant messaging and SMS. I am allows people to share information immediately and make decisions quickly. Its impact on business communication has been dramatic. Slack's group chat capabilities allow colleagues on remote project teams to communicate instantly or review chat history afterwards. Like instant messaging, SMS can replace voice call, delivery message between cell phone users quickly and directly. Organizations around the world provide new alerts, financial information, and promotion to customers via text. Second, messaging and messaging app risks. Despite their popularity among workers, some organizations prohibit employees from using SMS and instant messaging unless these tools are job relevant and enterprise level. Employers consider chat and messaging as other distraction besides phone calls, emails, and the internet. Some organizations are also concerned that employees using free consumer grant instant messaging application may disclose privileged information and company records. Third, best practice for instant messaging and SMS. Before sending message at work, be sure to seek approval. Since unsolicited text message may seem intrusive, seek permission first. Do not download and use third-party application without consulting your supervisor. Fourth, text message ethics. Sending SMS is fast and unobtrusive, and for simple routine message is often the best alternative to a phone call or email. Given the popularity of texting, ethics experts offer valuable advice. Third part is creating a work for business podcast. First, growing popularity of podcasts. Podcasts are digital audio programs that resemble radio shows. They tend to be a series of episodes that generally feature a host, sometimes two, often in an interview format. They are distributed regularly, daily, weekly, or monthly, as audio programs that can be played on demand in a web browser or with a mobile application on a variety of digital devices. The terms broadcast and podcasting come from the combination of the word broadcasting and iPod, Apple's MP3 player. Podcasts can cover topics such as news, politics, business, sport, popular culture, and self-help. Most are pre-recorded, but some are live. Second is major players in podcasting. Podcasts can be categorized by genre or subject and by producer and purpose. Most podcasts are devoted to entertainment. Among podcast providers, among them, 1. Corporation and other business, 2. Entrepreneurs and entrepreneurial individuals, 3. News and media organization, and 4. Education podcasts. Third, can podcasts make money and survive? The biggest names in podcasting who hold a sizable audience will attract advertisers, usually those who offer related brand and want to demographic of the show's listener. Of course, video is a much bigger attraction on the internet than audio. Videos range from millions of cat videos, tons of how-to guides, and wobbly user-generated smartphone footage to slick professional video, movie previews, and entire feature films. YouTube, Vimeo, and TikTok are examples of popular video hosting and sharing service. Most companies and brands maintain video channel as part of their overall media strategy. More coverage on YouTube included into our discussion of social media. Fourth part is storytelling with blogs and news sites. First, how companies tell stories. Like social media platforms, company blogs can be used to create viral communities. Companies use blogs for public relation, customer relation, market research, internal communication, online community building, and recruiting. An internal blog that can be accessed by employees on the company internet serves as an information hub, encouraging discussion, creating a sense of community, and encouraging engagement. Second, mastering blogging 7 tips. The 7 tips are: 1. Create an interesting but concise title. 2. As opening paragraph. 3. Give details on the body. 4. Consider visual. 5. Include a call to action. 6. Edit and correction. And 7. Respond to posts respectfully. The fifth part is navigating social network for business. First, utilizing social media. Business interest in social media is not surprising if we consider that online is a place of marketing. Second, corporate social network. Social networks can help companies in 1. Agile damage control and respond to complaints. 2. Connecting disparate workers. And 3. Crowdsourcing employees to achieve buy-in. Third, social media and risk management. Public-facing social networks hold great promise for business while also presenting potential risks. Most managers want connected employees with strong tech skills and fantasizing about their brand becoming an overnight sensation thanks to viral marketing. Managers like to imagine their workers as enthusiast brand evangelists. However, business also worry about lost productivity, reputational damage, and legal issues. For example, privacy law violation, workplace harassment, and defamation. To minimize risk, companies rely on social media policies, approve and monitor employees' use of social media, and mandate training. And the last is the dark side of technology and social media. Internet access almost for all means that in cyberspace users can bypass the gatekeepers filtering content in traditional print and visual media. This open online marketplace of ideas was once lauded as a democratic and empowering place. However, user anonymity has replaced accountability and public discourse has turned to disrespect, hate speech, and worse. Even extreme display can reach thousands or even millions of viewers. The danger is clear. Fact check often fail by the wayside. Buzz become more important than truth, and a few keystroke can threaten reputation. I think that's all. Thank you for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.